Sooner Nation, welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Before we get started with this video, hit the subscribe button, be a part of the Sooner Surge. And guys, college football history was made today in the playoff with the committee and what happened. We knew something was going to happen as far as history made, either SEC getting left out or a Power 5 team undefeated getting left out. And we saw what happened. So here's how I want to do this tonight. I want everybody to get their chance to say something. I know we've been kind of back and forth all throughout the day and yesterday about what we think should have happened. And now's your chance. Everybody here is going to get a couple minutes to say their piece and tell us on why they agree or disagree with what went on today with the committee. So let's start with Jeremy. Jeremy, just give us your thoughts.
You just said history's been made. This is the biggest it's an unprecedented thing that happened. It's a travesty. And I'll use travesty since Jordan Travis is, I guess, to blame for this whole ordeal. My God, if he wouldn't have gotten hurt. It's just a shame that he got hurt and cost his team a shot at a national championship. And, you know, that's just ridiculous. And what they're doing is they're setting a precedent with that decision. Now, fortunately, it's going to be gone next year. But first off, what I would say, Jay, is, and everyone else is, the three undefeated should have been discarded. Moved over to the left or right, whatever side you want to say. The argument should have been between Bama and Texas. And that's a tough argument. It's absolutely a tough argument. But Texas is not, if they play again, they're not playing the same Bama team they played early in the year. And you're absolutely moronic if you think they are. Okay, it's not the same Bama team. So to me, the undefeated should have been a lock. There's no reason they shouldn't have been. And I'll tell you what else. Another reason I can say that is later in the day, they have the whole Liberty SMU talk, and Liberty is elevated for being undefeated and playing no one, while Florida State was punished for being undefeated and apparently playing no one, even though they beat three teams in the top 17 of the CFP. It's wrong. It should have been Florida State, Michigan, Washington, and I would have gone Alabama. Okay? And I agree, Texas would have been kicked. But the difference is they're not comparing a loss and a loss. It's undefeated. They should have been in. I don't care if you say, well, who's the quarterback? That guy sucks. Doesn't matter. They should have a shot at the national title. They were stripped from that opportunity, and they 100%. And if anyone disagrees that Florida State should not have had a shot at the national title, then I guess I would say you got major problems.
That's right. You're going to tell me that Jordan Travis basically just wasted his whole entire senior season getting his team to, what were they, 11-0 whenever he got hurt, for his team to get left out of the playoff, right? So basically it's like, if you're him, he can be like, why did I even play this year? What was the point? Our goal, as they talked about in the offseason after the Cheez-It Bowl, was to make the playoff with the addition of Keon Coleman. They got screwed of that opportunity. I don't care if they have a second or third string quarterback, Florida State playing. It doesn't matter. Ohio State, they had a third string QB. They made it into the playoff, okay? Although they won 59-0, a win's a win, guys. A win is a win. They went undefeated. They went with their backup QB into Florida with a rivalry game. I know Florida's not that good, but they still won on the road in a hostile environment. And also, I just think that they got screwed of this opportunity that was deserved from them. I mean, we all saw the statement their athletic director put out. Mike Norvell said, the ACC commissioner said, it's absolutely heartbreaking for a team that puts all their grind, all the grit, everything in the work to get left out of this opportunity that, to be honest, they might not get for a few more years. Like, you're not guaranteed an undefeated season. There was only 3 teams to go undefeated in college football. Florida State was one of them. I don't care if it's the ACC. What would they be, like 4 top 25 teams, 3? I don't know, but still, a win is a win. They went undefeated. Their opportunity should not have been taken away from them.
Well, first of all, this is a much different scenario than Ohio State. Ohio State, yes, they lost their quarterback, but that quarterback room was loaded. Cardale Jones was a great quarterback. You saw it in the playoffs, how great he was to win a national championship. You can disagree with me all you want, but the simple truth of all of this, Jerm, is that this comes down to how can a league that is as big as college football is, multi-billion-dollar industry, not have a clear and concise criteria for their postseason format? Every other league has it, down to youth football. You know what you have to do to make the playoffs. It's plain and clear. You win this many games, you're in. You win your conference, you're in. That's not the case in college football. You only have 4 teams. Before this, you had the BCS. It was 2 teams picked by a computer for the national championship. There isn't a right solution. However, in this no right solution, they made the best choice here and leaving out Florida State, putting in Texas and Alabama. You cannot leave out Alabama, who went 9-0 in the SEC, including a win over the number 1 team in the country, ending a 29-game win streak against Georgia last night. And you can't leave out Texas, who beat that Alabama team in Tuscaloosa by double digits. You cannot leave them out. Florida State is the odd man out. It sucks. It sucks for the entire team. But this all comes down to, don't have a 4-team playoff that's determined by opinions of humans. You need to have rules that's clearly stated on what you have to do to make the playoffs. This is going to continue to be a problem. There'll be people upset next year over the 12-team playoff. The 12-team playoff this year was a perfect example. Should have been put in place this year instead of holdups from conferences that forced it to be next year before it goes into effect. But you're going to still have these issues. You need to establish something that's not this ranking system, that is something clear. You win this, you make the playoffs, you compete for a championship. That's not the case right now with college football.
And Hunter, I'm gonna kind of mix some of y'all's opinions together, but they do have a rule. They do have a committee and they have rules in place. And one of them is go win your conference and go undefeated and you're in. It's been precedented throughout the college football history of the playoff. You go undefeated in Power 5, you're in. That's the rule. Okay. The other rule is the playoff committee. It's not a rule, but the playoff committee itself is a bunch of people who should not probably be on the committee. These are people that aren't probably the best people to pick who the best teams are. They're not picking the best teams. They're picking who they think are the best teams. They don't know who the best teams are. Nobody does until you play the game. I guess what we're saying here is games do not matter anymore. Wins and losses do not matter, because in the correct scenario here, and take Alabama's name off the helmet, Alabama's not going to the playoff. And Jeremy, I 100% disagree with you. If you go, the 3 teams are Michigan, Washington, and Florida State, which I agree, those 3 deserve to be in. And you put Alabama and Texas, you're absolutely moronic of a person if you can't put Texas in over Bama. They beat them. So you just said things are equal. Things are equal. Both have 1 loss. Texas went to Alabama, beat them by 10 points. I don't care. You can't say, well, early on they were playing different. Doesn't matter. Florida State's playing different now too, I guess, right? So if Florida State's playing different now, why are they in? Okay, so there's a lot of things you could talk about. There's a lot of things you could talk about it. But my biggest problem with the committee is this. Go look at the whole year. And the rankings started coming out when? Mid-October. They've had Texas above Alabama every single week because of what? They beat Alabama. Okay? And they kept true to that this week. They're ahead of Alabama. Kudos to the committee. The other thing they had is Florida State, with a backup quarterback last week, was still ranked number 4. Hunter, they were ranked number 4. Why did they go beat a top 15 team and drop? What? Why? They knew what they had to do going into that game. And that was win the game and get in the playoff. And they won with a stellar performance from a defense, okay? An outstanding performance from the defense. And my opinion is the team that should have been left out is, I hate to say it, but if you go any other year and any other, take SEC off the name of it, Alabama would have been the team left off. I see what you're saying, Hunter. White. They're in the SEC. They got to make it. I get it. But if you go off of teams that should be in, Florida State should be in, and you cannot take Bama over Texas, in my opinion.
Do you want to?
Bama did beat the number 1 team, and that's why, in my opinion, at the time, because you can't even talk about the undefeateds, like you said. It's unprecedented. They're in, regardless.
You can talk about them if you want.
No, I'm saying they're discarded if I'm in the committee, because I'm going at the one-loss teams. And look, Hunter, I just want to ask you one simple question. Who's better, Texas or Washington?
I don't know. That's a flip of a coin for me.
Now you're flipping it because
really
you saw Vegas. You saw Vegas's prediction that Texas is a 5-point favorite.
If I were to make a pick on that game off of the spread, I'm going under. I don't.
But
think
that's
it's a
the
5-point
problem.
Game.
That's not.
Hunter,
I'm not saying under. I'm saying who's the better. Hunter, did they get the 4 best teams in the playoffs? Yes or no?
I think for the most part, yes.
No, you can't say for the most part. Are the 4 best teams playing this in the college football playoff?
Off of what happened yesterday, yes.
No, see, you always have to just answer. Hey, guys, Jay,
I'll answer it. They got the 4 best teams.
So I disagree because I think Georgia's one of the 4 best.
No, Bama beat them.
Guys, why are we not having
Texas beat Bama? Would OU beat Georgia?
Jeremy, we can have this argument.
Then you can't use the argument you're saying.
Jeremy, you can't use the argument about Florida State when you're sitting there arguing a 1-loss team Alabama and a 1-loss Texas, and you're disregarding the head-to-head.
I'm talking about Georgia.
You told me the Bama-Texas game from early in the year doesn't matter. Bama's playing better. Off your opinion or what? Because last week they should have lost to
my
Auburn.
opinion.
They should have lost to Auburn.
Agreed.
So how can you say they're playing better?
But they didn't.
How can you say anyone's better?
I can't. That's what I'm saying.
Guys, why are we not talking about how the cheaters are allowed to be in the playoff in Michigan and we wouldn't have this?
That was the other thing.
Michigan's probably the best team.
They absolutely, guys, the other reason this is the biggest travesty in the history of entire sports world.
Oh, my goodness.
It is. And here's why. The team that was allegedly cheating, they were proven to be cheaters. They're number 1 ranked, guys. And the team that did everything that possibly could have been done, everything, even with the 3rd-string quarterback, fought adversity, did everything the right way, they're punished, and the team that cheated is rewarded. It's the most unjust thing in the history of sports world.
Jeremy.
Germ.
What?
You're Michigan. You're the number 1 team. You get to choose who gets that 4 seed. Who are you choosing to play?
That's a tough one.
Oh my God!
I don't want to
choosing Alabama. I promise you.
I don't want to face Jared Verse. I promise you.
Oh,
they would choose Florida State in a heartbeat.
Hunter,
You can't even argue that.
Hunter, I'll answer.
So if that's what we're doing, if that's what we're doing, guys, then who did OU want if they make the? I mean, like you don't pick who's going to be in the conference championship games. You don't get that. Who do you want to play, guys? It's not how it works, guys.
That's the whole thing. That proves that Bama's the better team because they're not going to want to play the better team. Okay. They don't want to have a better chance.
I'm not going to argue. You can't prove who's the better team by some human being saying who's better. Jay said it earlier.
Drew.
You cannot prove who's a better football team by looking at eyeball tests and everything.
That's not true.
Then we should get rid of the committee, correct, Drew?
The committee's a joke.
I think there should be no committee. I think that's the dumbest thing.
There should be some sort of rules that are clearly stated that are not even the computer-based thing. Like, how is this not an issue in the NFL every year? Because
Hunter,
win your division.
You can't compare that. I asked you earlier. Stop comparing it.
Hunter, you're saying you're out of us 4. You're the only one saying they got it correct. Is that right?
I thought you said they got it correct too, Jay.
No, I said
Jay thinks Florida State should be in.
Florida State deserves to be in.
I agree.
Now, but
I think they got the 4 best teams.
I do think they have the 4 best teams right now. I would agree with that.
Hunter and Jay, you would take Washington over Georgia right now and Texas.
From yesterday, yes, absolutely.
You can't go from yesterday, though. If that's the case, I want to take the OU from week 7 instead of the OU from week 10. Can I do that? Let me take the OU from week 7. Wait, I'm going to take that team, and then I'm going to put this OU team from 2000, and that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, Jeremy.
You can't do that in sports, guys.
Jeremy, answer the question. If you're Michigan, who would you want to play out of the teams? Answer it.
I don't know who I'd want to play. You don't do that, Jay.
Well,
and obviously, I would not. Obviously, I might choose Florida State, but it doesn't matter because Florida State might go beat Georgia. You don't know it till you play the game, guys.
Florida
We're
State
talking about
will beat Georgia.
Florida
You have it here. Florida State's going to beat Georgia.
Okay, that's wild. But
Four
you have
best
to score
teams won't
points
Hey,
to win.
Jay, let me throw a few names out there. Trent Dilfer, he good?
Jeremy, he's a
He
Hall.
won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl. He's pretty good. Wait, Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer in the NFL versus
He's
Brock
not any good,
Quinn,
Jay.
who hasn't played a snap.
He's a third-string quarterback, and they still
And
won.
by the way,
Hey, I just want to end it
But
with
a
one
minute ago,
question
you
for
just
Hunter.
said don't use the NFL comparison.
Here's the problem I have.
Hunter, let me ask you this, Hunter. Just answer it very simply. Did Florida State deserve to be in there?
99.999.
No. Oh, no, see, you
That's a
can't
yes,
do it.
Hunter.
This
That's a
is
yes. That's a
Answer
yes,
the
Jeremy.
question.
this year, no, they did not. This year,
Oh, Hunter.
because
Hunter,
of everything that
that's baloney.
happened,
Hey, that's baloney.
Bama
And Jeremy,
and Texas both deserve to be in.
hey, Jeremy, where did he go? Did he come hide and he went hid?
What?
Hey, you can't sit here. The problem with Florida State, in my opinion, and this is what I had a problem with the committee, is they're basing this off the third string quarterback who wouldn't be playing in the bowl game to be their backup.
Exactly
So-
right.
So you can't
But
base
the backup wasn't much better.
one
He
game.
played one
There's
game in the
game to
swamp,
watch.
bud. How did Spencer Rattler do his first game? How did Caleb Williams do at Kansas last year, Hunter? Go ahead and tell me how Caleb Williams did his first games. He
No.
struggled that year, bud.
Here's what it comes
How
down
did
to.
didn't
Jackson
know he was
Arnold
on
do
the
his
national-
first game, guys?
Jeremy, you're
Championship
comparing
team,
things that
but
don't make
whatever.
sense. Okay, here's what we're doing.
What?
Listen.
It's a backup quarterback. I'm comparing backup quarterback.
Hey, we could argue this for
So-
the next 365 days. I'm pretty sure Jeremy and Hunter have argued this for the last 29 hours, and it's exhausting. And here's the deal.
I'll give you 100% credit. I don't have a problem, okay? But the only comment I have a problem with is Hunter that can't say 100% FSU got screwed and ripped off.
Yeah, they got screwed.
It sucks. It
If he
sucks
would
to
just,
go
if he
13
would
and
just
0.
say they totally
Sure.
got ripped off, I wouldn't have a problem with them.
If I could only talk. It sucks that they went 13 and 0. Their quarterback goes down the way he does, breaks his leg, and they're going to miss the playoff because of it. But you cannot tell me that Florida State is a better team than Alabama
Hunter,
or
let
Texas.
me
You
ask you
can't
this.
tell
Hunter,
me they're not.
Wait, guys.
Yep,
let's
and
talk.
you cannot tell me that Alabama's a better team than Florida State.
Yes,
Hunter.
you can. Did you watch the game yesterday?
They haven't played.
Did you watch them against Auburn?
Hey, guys.
Did you watch
Listen.
them last week?
Yeah, and I watched them pull off a miracle.
Hey,
4th and
Hunter,
31
Hunter,
to win
listen. Any other defense
in a hostile environment, but okay.
Hunter, any other defense that's breathing, Alabama has 2 losses going into the championship game. Okay, and here's the deal. You can say all you want about things, but I want to ask you this question as we close here. If Jordan Travis never got injured, who's going to the playoff between Florida State, Bama, and Texas?
Florida State's in with Jordan Travis, 100%.
So who gets left out there? You said you can't leave him.
You said you can't leave anyone out, Hunter.
Who's going to get left out there?
It would probably
Say
be
it.
Texas. It wouldn't be right, but it would be
Oh,
Texas.
you're beating. So you're basing this all off of the injury then?
The injury is the biggest thing. Yes, absolutely.
That's all the college football playoff committee is doing is basing it off that Jordan Travis is hurt, which is
They do whatever they want to
Absolutely
fit their
wrong.
narrative, guys. That's all it
Exactly.
is. They didn't want
And
Florida State in it.
I mean, you can't punish. I don't get how we're downgrading going 9 and 0 in the SEC because that's
Hey,
what's
who
happened.
else went undefeated
You
in the
just said you would
against SEC
punish
team?
them if they
Hunter,
Travis
who else
was
went
healthy.
undefeated against SEC
I said
teams?
Texas, but okay.
Florida State did. Florida State did 2-0. Hey, Jay.
2-0. 2 is a big difference between 9, Jerome.
Hey, but
9 games,
Hunter,
including
again, here's the problem I have.
neutral
Hunter,
site
Hunter,
in
here's the
Atlanta.
problem I have.
and beating the number
You
1
can
team in the country
absolutely-
on a
you can
29-game win streak.
You
They
can
beat 'em.
absolutely punish Bama and Texas both because they have a loss. You cannot punish an undefeated. The punishment is you lost a freaking football game. You
I
should be
agree.
punished.
I agree. You have games on your schedule that you play. If you lose one, sorry, you lost, and they lost.
They
Both of
said,
them lost.
Jay, they said that with SMU. They said they lost.
And that's my problem. That's why I said Florida State deserves. Now, but I also say the 4 best teams are what they have.
You may say they got it right, okay, and I can somewhat agree. It's not the most deserving, but it's not the 4 best either because Georgia is one of the best teams in America. They
Yeah.
lost barely. They barely lose to Bama in a championship game, Jay. Come on.
Here's what we know. This
Please.
is not. It's not good. It's not a good look, I don't think, for the committee. I don't think today was a good look at all. I'm so glad it's going to 12 teams. You're probably going to have the same issue when you get down to 11 or 12 because you're dealing with human beings that are guys. Us four on here cannot agree on who we think. What about 13 people in the room? It doesn't happen, and it's all opinionated. That's what you get, unfortunately. I kind of like the computer system a little bit in that aspect, but anyway, that's what we got. Jeremy, did you want to say something before you close?
No, I was just saying I am fine. I'm fine with Bama and Texas both being in. I'm fine. I'm fine with saying this may be the 4 best teams. I'm fine with that verbiage. I'm fine with that. No, but you cannot say they absolutely got the 4 best teams. And
That's
then
right.
after the fact, if
That's
someone
right.
gets destroyed, say, well, maybe they didn't. Look, they may have got the 4 best teams. They may have. I agree. But you can't say 99% chance that Florida State did not deserve to be in it. Like that. That's just absurd to me. I can sit here and say they may have got the 4 best teams. I can also say Georgia might be one of the best. I can also say Florida State 100% got ripped off.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. So it is what it is. We're going to move on. I think looking at probably, I know a lot of people don't want to see it, but Texas Alabama rematch, I think, for the Natty. And I think a lot of TV people would love that matchup. And I think TV has a lot to do with also picking who the 4 teams that go is TV money.
100%.
So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, OU's not there. We know where OU's going, but we can still talk about this and have debate. Hopefully we can not debate on it for the next 356 days because it seems like it's been all day, every day. So anyway, thanks for subscribing. If you're not, please hit the button, subscribe to the Sooner Surge, be a part of it. Got the live coming out later. Be a part of that. Till next time, guys. Boomer.